This guy's lying before. Don't tell me this at all.
Been in love with since I was 22 years old. Because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
Breaking news, a fiery plane crash in Pennsylvania. The FAA says 5 people were on board the plane when it crashed.
I do partnership, not ownership. Sure. You're not my property. I don't even want to own you. I want to partner in this situation.
What mother leaves her young kids alone in the house for 4 years?
And it's against my religion to tell y'all my business.
You've been in cars that size before? Yes, I have. I've been in cars smarter than that.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Happy Saturday. I was about to say Sunday. It is not Sunday. It is Saturday, and we are back with the Collective News. Collective News might be a permanent Saturday staple. We're still figuring things out, but it could be. Show some love in the chat. Let us know how you're doing, what's going on. Maybe some stuff in the chat that we've missed. Get to talking to us. We'd like to talk. Ashley, how you feeling?
Hey girl, I'm here. I'm ready. Let's get to the news of it all. I hope everyone else is having an amazing Saturday though. I'm curious what's on the docket.
Oh, girl. Stuff. It's stuff on the docket. Before we get to the docket, not only should you guys show love on mine and Ashley's side, but do know that at any given moment, you are more than welcome to ask a question, ask for advice, or bring up a topic that you didn't see here, and we will gladly attend to it and talk about it. But we are not going to waste anybody's time. Ashley, what do you know about the NeNe Leakes TS Madison conversation at all?
God, right out the gate.
Yep.
This is the only topic that I knew for sure we'd be talking about because you brought it up yesterday. And so I went down a bit of a rabbit hole yesterday, looking up to see actually what was said, how it was said, so I've familiarized myself with a little bit. I know a little bit of what's going on.
Okay, well, I don't know. I didn't go too far down because I was scared of what I might find, but I did get a little bit so we can get the gist of maybe what the conversation and all the hoopla is about. Let's get on into it.
Do you only know gay men?
Well, I don't date gay men.
Well, okay. Well, I when you guys be saying that, that's weird.
Why?
Because what do you mean you don't date gay men? Because if he is sleeping with you and sleeping with a woman, he's something.
Well, he's not gay.
What is he?
He's definitely not gay.
He's bi?
Listen, because if a man come in here and he looks at me and you.
Yeah. What is he?
Well, he likes women.
Yeah, because he doesn't know.
Well, and if he does know, he likes women.
Okay.
Now,
but what is he?
Well,
he's bisexual?
He could be bi or he could be pan.
Okay, what was pan? I forgot. That means you be whatever you like.
Hearts,
pan.
not hearts.
Right.
A lot of men are pan, but they don't say anything. Like
I don't want to run into them. I don't want to date him.
NeNe, if you've dated men, there's a possibility in your life that
he's been with a man.
He's been with something. Yeah. Would you date him if I know him?
Man.
Now we talking.
Yeah, so the man gonna be sleeping with me and you. I don't want to talk to him no more.
You don't?
No.
So
because see, he's not telling me the truth. Nine
what
times out of
truth
10,
does he need to tell you, NeNe? Tell
well, the guy seemed like he would come and tell me that he's bisexual. So what if he never told me? Isn't he lying to me? You said they wake up and lie.
They do.
So he woke up and lied.
But how can we make men comfortable to even say that they find other things outside of
I don't know, but I feel like he should tell
me
me what he likes.
But here's the thing: you might demonize him for telling.
I won't. I just probably won't be with him.
Yeah, that is correct. And then men risk they risk losing that. You know, there's some men that have experiences, just like there are women that have had an experience.
Still, he's coming over there looking at your beautiful hair and makeup. Well, he can't come over my house and see mine.
Well, yeah. I've had gentlemen to tell me, "Hey, put a pillow over that," and I'm like, "Well, you're not the nigga for me. You don't have to touch it and deal with it. But I'm not hiding shit from you. You are, and how you've gotten.
Yeah, you called me a tranny.
I said trainee. There's a difference.
What's a trainee?
Well, I'm a trainee.
Okay.
You know, so I said you were giving trainee. When you give trainee,
you're giving it. Okay.
You're giving it.
Okay, put me up on game.
I'm talking about trainee. Bitch, I'm talking about the girl that's going to stay because
put me up on game.
You know the trainees that are turning. These girls are standing in the heel. They stand in the lash.
But you know, I didn't even care. I don't really care.
But we were not,
because people be caring when other
NeNe,
people
this
don't
is the thing.
care.
I wanted to make sure I talked about this with
other
you.
people don't.
We were not calling you a man.
Right.
Because
okay.
you are all woman.
Right.
You're Amazon woman.
Yeah.
So we were not calling you a man. We were saying how beat you are.
Yeah.
We were saying this beat.
Right.
That bitch is in her lash. She's in her shoe.
Right.
That bitch is in her hair.
Yeah, so she been in her lash and shoe. I'm gonna use that from now on. Being in my lash and being in my shoe. I'm gonna be from now on using it. I'm in my lash and I'm in my shoe.
She's in her shoe.
Yes.
She's sitting up under that mug.
Thank you. I'm in my wig.
She's up under that hat.
My lash and in my shoe.
All right. Ashley?
What?
I'm not about to play with you.
Girl, this is above my pay grade. This is above my pay grade, outside of the scope. What you want to know? What's the verdict?
I want to know your thoughts on the conversation. And we have some people who really feel like NeNe was out of pocket. And we have other people who feel like TS Madison was out of pocket. And we're just, kind of agreeing to disagree on the conversation around if a man is interested in me and interested in you, it's not the same thing. And of course, T.S. Madison's like, well, why isn't it? Even though I am a transgender woman who still has a penis. Ashley?
Okay. So here's the thing. I think that we know that cis women and transgender women are different. Just period. And I think that that's okay to acknowledge that. And respect that. On the other side of that, I agree with T.S. Madison that just as far as clockability is concerned, those two ladies are in the same room. A man walks in without knowing either one of them. If said man was attracted to both T.S. and NeNe Leakes, I believe that he would still be identified as a straight man, right?
Yeah. Well, NeNe agreed on that part.
Not knowing anything. However, I do agree that said man is no longer straight if he's with someone with a penis. I think that kind of puts him on the queer spectrum. But, I think the conversation, like realistically in Atlanta, NeNe's lived there her entire life. NeNe's been with a pan man, a bi man, a queer man, whether she knew it or not at some point. I'm fairly sure that Madison was clocking T in that very moment saying, I be with the same men you be with. And I think that that's very true. So I'm really confused about how the conversation went to this level, because whether people want to admit it or not, more men than we would think have either tried something or are currently trying things while they're with biological women. But yeah, I went down the rabbit hole. TS was being shady after NeNe was being shady. NeNe was being willfully ignorant in the moment. I think she was tiptoeing around what she really wanted to say. And my thing is, if you're going to say it with your whole chest versus like penny anning around it. And TS, when you called her a trainee, sis, you knew exactly what you were saying. You say NeNe be looking like the girls, and sometimes she does. Like, no shade. Like, it is what it is. But it's such a nuanced conversation. And I think these are conversations that are good to have, because people who aren't a part of the community, don't have any experience with trans people, queer people, whatever, don't necessarily have the language or understanding of it. I think it begs greater conversations where people can be open and honest about how they feel about a thing. But again, this is just my personal opinion. If a man that I'm with enjoys another person, a trans woman who has a penis, may have breasts, but still has a penis, that man to me is not a heteronormative man.
But that's what I would think. Yeah. I don't know. With these clips and the rabbit hole I went down, that just always seems to want to be space. And I don't typically get that off of TS Madison. She's normally on the opposite side in defense of, I know exactly who I am and what I have. You and I are not both the same. And it seems like here in this sit down, even though, like you said, NeNe was trying it. And I just wish, like, this is your show, baby. What you want to say, what we know you're saying, just say it outright so we can have it docked. And it's like, well, no, I want to be PC. And this is not really the conversation to be that. There just always seems to be towing that fine line of, well, actually, we are the same. And if X, Y, and Z, as far as men, regardless if you were or not, it's happening. So why even talk about it? Like, it's like, no, there still needs to be a conversation about it, because I still need to have that choice. And there seems to always be some type of reasoning to feel like biologically as a woman, you need to just refrain from whatever choice you have because this is the day that we're living in now. And it's like, well, no, if I, willfully didn't know something, then that's different versus me going, oh, okay, you prefer this and that. Personally, I prefer to go the opposite way, and I don't want to converse with you on that level. I don't think that should be taken away just because outwardly we appear the same.
I agree. I think that everyone should have bodily autonomy, and I think that disclosure is a part of consent. I can't fully consent to you if you're not disclosing what it is that you do with men or women. I think it's unethical to have a partner and actively be with other people or having ventured other places without disclosing that to someone. I just think that's being a decent human being. And I would feel that way with a straight man, a bi man, whoever. You need to be upfront about that. I mean,
well, no, even with the conversation, it felt like TS was giving like, well, it's like we're kind of justify a man not wanting to disclose that because you might just say, he might get backlash, he might get shunned, you might not want to. And then he's like, no, I'm not gonna disrespect the man. I'm just gonna say respectfully, I don't want to be with you in that way. And it's almost kind of excusing the option not to say anything at all because it shouldn't matter. I like what I like. If I like you, that's it. But you're still, once again, taking away my choice to say no. And I just want that to always be the clearer understanding. Just because you have a preference doesn't mean I have to match with it. Like, tell me first and then, allow me to make that decision. Because if you start to getting into that fine line of what I don't want to disclose, what else are you, feeling like, oh, I don't got to tell you that either. I just don't be having time. I just don't be having time. Let me get into some of these super chats here before they kindly start to roll all the way up to the top. Let's see. We have James Lattimore here with $1.99. Thank you so much for supporting the live, James. We appreciate you. Chuck is in the house. Chuck is always here supporting. This message is more acceptable coming from a woman. Of course, he would be tutti frutti. Thank you so much, Chuck. Thank you so much, Chuck. And that's, once again, Chuck, that's that fine line because somebody could, naturally feel otherwise because everything else there, why should, the bottom surgery matter that much? And you'll have somebody else think completely different. It's just all about who you're talking to. Thank you so much, DeMarcus, for showing love. Which song is better? Giving him something he can feel by Invoke, a Red Light Special by TLC. Ashley?
Thank you so much for the super chat, DeMarcus. I'm going over there with giving him something he can feel because living in a world of ghetto life, things can be so uptight, honey. Let me take you down through there. Shout out to our good girlfriend in Sparkle, but also in Vogue, and also Aretha Franklin. Listen, giving him something he can feel. Been down through them streets, and I love it. But Red Light Special was cute. It was a bop, but giving him something he can feel extra special for me.
Now, as cute as it is, I'm a bump Real Light Special more than I bump giving him something he can feel. So I'm going over there. I'm going over there. As far as in Vogue songs, it is just not, my favorite. So, Don't Go is that bop. Don't Go is that girl. But I love it though. I love it though. Absolutely. Thank you so much, DeMarcus, for showing love. Make sure I got everyone. I got DeMarcus here again, who asked, would a man be considered left-handed if he dated a hermaphrodite?
DeMarcus,
Ashley?
please. DeMarcus, what do you mean left-handed? I don't know what that means. Is that some, and I don't even think it's hermaphrodite anymore. I think it's intersex. Is what they call it now. But I don't know what this means, DeMarcus. Would a man be considered left-handed if he dated a her? I don't know what that means. What does left-handed mean?
Child, I'm gonna assume gay. I don't
Oh.
use these terms. Is that your answer? Is that your final answer,
Well,
Ashley?
I think it depends. I don't know. See, again, like I said, stuff be above my pay grade, y'all. I don't have the language, the
Yeah.
verbiage, or
And
know
it's
enough.
so hard to have conversations around this. Like, I have a whole lot of language I could say, but I can't speak to what may be insensitive to somebody else, so I just rather not. But I do know that this conversation was problematic here, and they were both being shady to one another. And it's, I just hate the divide between the two, because even with the like, oh, trainee, oh, you was beat. We were saying, like, you were like, TS, that's not what you were saying.
No, no, you just saying because I want to
TS,
blow.
that's not what you were saying. There just always seems to be a divide, and us hating on the girls. I love the girls, like, baby, me too. One day, I'm trying to be, but it just always seems to have to be a conversation around what's this and what's not, and something as easily as, I don't know, like, just hilarious having her moments with the girls, because don't equate me to that. I'm not that. Everybody's just constantly on the defense trying to protect their narrative, and there's just no solidarity nowhere. So it's always a strange conversation. But actually, anything else you want to share on this before we move on?
No, that's all I got for it. Like I said, I really was trying to just understand fully both points of view. And like I said, I can get it. If a man saw, I mean, a lot of trans women are giving cis with,
Girl,
like, honestly, like,
men too.
unclockable. Hear me, unclockable. So I mean, just from face value, I think when you go from that into like intimacy and things like that, that's a different conversation. And like I said, outside of my purview, that's not a space I'm even in. But I do think NeNe was being intentionally obtuse, and I do think TS was being shady on the back end. But I
And
also think that TS was offended by that. I do. I think she was offended by that. So I think offense kind of controlled or dominated the rest of the conversation. So we didn't really get to the heart of the matter.
because it was instantly like offense or offended, when it's like, well, do you only date? Well, I don't date anybody who's gay. I don't date gay man. And NeNe's like, but you haven't. Okay, the conversation stopped before it even really started at that point, and then there on after, it just was this. So I don't know. Thank you so much, Joshua, for showing love. This conversation takes me to when Malik Yoba came out and said he loves trans women, and he has been married and has kids. Child, I
Let the
remember that.
girls tell it. Malik was on the set of damn under New York Undercover, booking the girls, paying the girls. So Malik been down there. He does
Yeah.
this.
And once
I don't think it's
again,
new.
like, if it's no, shame to be had, and there's open dialogue, like, why give your wife, give people the choice to say what's what. I feel like if you have to hide something, then you're ashamed of it. To me personally, like, don't take that option away. Nobody wants to target you or shame you for your choices, or say one sex is inferior to the other one, or a bottom or a top surgery or whatever. But just be transparent with your preferences, and then people also hate that and feel like you're not entitled to know anything about me. I don't know. I think it's just up to the person. I know personally I would like to know. Why did face Ashley? What happened?
I'm trying to understand the comment. Bucking your eyes with color eyeshadow is crazy work. Clown. Who was bucking their eyes?
I don't know. I'm gonna move on to the next topic. I'm gonna move on to the next topic. Now, I know a lot of you guys asked us last time, aka Chuck, to speak on the riots and all things going on with deportation. So I wanted to take this moment to maybe shed a little bit more light on that than we did last week. Let's get into this.
Lots of protesters moving them on through the heart of LA.
Was mistakenly arrested by NYPD and ICE, leaving her 12-year-old daughter alone on the street.
The estimated 4 million families in America who have mixed immigration status. So I'm talking about parents who might be here illegally, but the kids are here legally. Your borders are.
You're talking about separation.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are two aspects to this. Your border czar, Tom Homan, said they can be deported together.
Correct.
Is that the plan?
Well, that way you keep those. Well, I don't want to be breaking up families.
¿Por qué lo están arrestando? Why you guys arresting him?
No hicimos nada.
What do you do?
No trae papeles que me digan. Show me proof. Show me proof. Where's the proof? Mr. Trump! Yes! Mr. Trump! We love you!
Beyond betrayed. They used us. They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that it was not going to touch the documented people.
Baby Jasmine say, do you need me to do something?
We asked y'all for a simple vote. We asked you to go into those voting booths and vote for humanity, vote for unity, vote for change, vote for freedoms, vote for equality. And you went into those booths and you voted proximity.
Black people should not be boots on the ground within the next 4 years. I agree. Black people holistically shouldn't stray away from any movement that can help other marginalized groups, but being boots on the ground, physically protesting, is not the move for black people right now, in my humble opinion. I don't think we should be sacrificing our black bodies and be used as shields for the next 4 years under this administration.
Yeah. Call you later. Good morning.
Llewellyn Dixon is a 64-year-old woman who works as a lab tech at the University of Washington. She's been a permanent legal resident of the United States for 50 years. But when she returned from visiting family in the Philippines, ICE arrested her at the airport and held her in detention for 3 months.
Tactic the Trump administration appears to be using to ramp up deportations. Here's how it works. Government lawyers terminate someone's case inside immigration court, then ICE arrests them outside for immediate deportation. Cancel, arrest, deport.
Well, that's a whole lot going on there. But beyond the scene in LA and the insight of kind of rioting at this point, a lot of these things are really calculated. I didn't realize, just kind of looking into it, people just assume that, oh, Trump is just going to stop at deporting criminals and, illegals, and everybody else, accordingly, you were probably going to be untouchable. And it's just a little bit of everything. Not only are we deporting and separating these families, but a lot of people that may have a banner of, oh, this is a criminal, we're deporting for whatever miscellaneous reason. Nobody is getting due process. Nobody is being, brought before a judge for anything. You are just being kind of tossed to the side and deported to wherever, separated from your family, separated from, your loved ones, your husbands, your wife, and that's just it. And it's like, I don't know, like where is this going to end up, for everyone? How do you even resolve this? And if you hear anything from Trump, everything's just on the up and up and things are better than ever. And, oh, this is just a catalyst for, greater things to come. but just to divide and separate and cast out a certain portion of the population, especially in a work sense, is just kind of crazy to me. And I don't know how to feel about kind of the frontline situation, because a lot of people want, per se, us to get out there and get active. And I don't feel like we should. Ashley?
Yeah. So there's so much discourse around this. Not on like, so there's the thing of who did you vote for, right? I watched some videos and looked at some polling, and they say the majority of the Latin community that actually voted for Trump were out of Florida, and they were Cuban. Then you have this conversation that begins around colorism within the Latin cultures, right? And how because there's black Dominicans, there's white Dominicans, there's black Cubans, there's white Cubans, like, and how that they're even within, certain ethnicities, there is still a breakdown for color. And so you hear a lot of people that are talking about the LA ICE situation and talking about it actually wasn't the Mexican people who did X, Y, or Z. Here's the thing. As far as black people getting involved, I think first there would have needed to be reconciliation between black and Latinos, especially in the West, right? Because there has been this thing where, oh, you're black. You're the blacks. We don't mess with the blacks. Like, you can go down rabbit holes on Instagram, on TikTok. You can go down comment sections and see the, like, the vitriol that spread as far as how it relates to black people coming from certain Latin peoples, not all, because they're not monoliths, but I think it's crazy to call on black people and black celebrities to deal with this issue when black people have endured the most racism in this country. I think it's wild. I think it's a crazy ask to do that when every day there's something going on. I think like I said, I think there would have needed to be a deeper discussion around race relations between black and brown people before you can try to demand a black celebrity to come out or demand black people to rally around your cause. I think we've done it for a long time. And I think finally we're over it a little bit. You know what I mean? I really do. And I think it also depends on one's level of activism, right? Yeah. The normal everyday person isn't an activist, isn't going boots on the ground, going down to the rally and doing X, Y, or Z, even for their own people. Let alone someone who's disconnected. I will say this. It's terrible to witness. I've seen so many of the repatriation, I guess is what they're calling them, when they go of their own free will and volition, because he did give some of them the opportunity, that if they pay for it, they can go, they can eventually have rights to come back to the U.S. legally, all that. But it's heartbreaking to see families, to see people who've been here, who've worked here, who've paid taxes here, now have to go back. But they had to know Trump wasn't playing no games. He was talking about literally building a wall, and y'all thought y'all were going to be safe. Like, I don't get that in my mind. It doesn't trend to me, because I don't know how you thought you would be immune to any of this. And like I said, I know a lot of Latino people didn't vote for Trump, at least on the West Coast, from what the polls are saying. It's just a hard situation. I think that's something they have to deal with. I'll definitely be praying for them, because I don't want to see any families split apart. I think it's awful. I think it's terrible. And and whatever support I can lend from inside my house, I will. But I'm not going to boots on the ground.
I just say from inside my house. Thank you so much, DeMarcus, for the $2. Today is actually Trump. So what you want us to do about that, DeMarcus? Thank you so much for informing us of that information. Thank you. What'd you say, Ashley?
I said, say Obama.
Oh, chat.
They were messaging me saying post Obama's name.
As hurtful as this is, and as sad as it is to watch, I'm beyond, what did y'all think? Who y'all voted for this? Y'all should have and who knows where those chips may have fallen. But unfortunately, there were, a bulk of the Latino community that did vote for Trump. And now we're here. Like, what about now? it is really disgusting to see the treatment of these people and to see them separated from their families, especially their babies. Like, this is a tough situation. But what I don't appreciate is so much of like the fear mongering around the Black community, or the conveniency of, it's always convenient with plenty of marginalized communities when it's time to stand, or you need to, be boots on the ground. Then we're all people of color. I want us to be people of color before that, not when you need somebody. And then I don't like that the fear mongering around. Well, if you think this is like, you're next. You this could be you. What about when it's you? What about when it's your family, your baby, your job, your this? I understand that, but it's like, it's almost like a veil being lifted up to where, even with all the Trump talk and the bill and this, that, and that, Black people are sad. Because it's like, it's nothing, unfortunately, it's nothing new to us. We're not surprised by any of these tactics or this behavior, because I think a lot of people have endured and seen so much throughout the years. This is, a Tuesday. Whereas, when it's happening to another community, they're looking like, oh, y'all need to. And I'm sorry, I don't see, and I'm sure that there are, some, but I don't see as much solidarity or instantaneous, shield and boots on the ground when it's us. So don't ask for that in return. I think that's like unserious and hella unfair. Kudos to anybody, and pray to the Most High to anybody who found space to get out there. But the clip that kept getting copyrighted for some reason that I removed in Florida, that man said, "Yeah, it will be no rubber bullets. We will shoot you down where you stand."
He said he would kill him dead.
Yes, I will kill you. I will kill you dead. He said, "I will kill you dead." We're moving over into the territory of like raging, and where you have, riots, aka agitators, outsources coming out to, because all these things happen and then things blow up, and we're supposed to be in the midst of that for another community when that's a lot to ask. That's a lot to ask. Like you said, I will be praying for these people. And like the man said in this clip, if there are, different, hundreds of other ways to give, to support and give assistance to the situation, then I think that's the best thing that you should do. But to get out there and have your body physically out there standing, no, personally. But praise to anybody who got out there. Oh, this lack of due process is crazy. And then if you're up on criminal charges because they said you were a criminal without due process, you're thrown into some.
Oh, the El Salvadorian jail. He was sending them, like, he was paying El Salvador to take all the people. Just here, take them. I don't care what their country of origin is. Like, it's insanity. I don't think any of us would disagree that this is egregious. There are human rights violations all over this. But as far as enlisting the help of others, I think this is something that.
Yeah, this is sick, especially when you more inclined to shoot my black ass. I don't. We want to go there. Anything else on this, Ashley, before we move on?
No, it's just heartbreaking. I'm going to continue to pray. And like I said, if you can support in any way, like I know there's online ways to support different things, but take care of yourself.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Let's try to figure out different avenues of support, and don't be hyper fixated on one community. Y'all need to get out here and there's a lot of people.
And it is not just Hispanic people that are being deported. I mean, Haitian refugees, like Critical is talking about Rwandan, Sudanese, anyone is actually being deported right now that they can find that don't have their papers in order. So, I mean, I think people who are impacted, of course, and the families of those would be the first responders on the ground to, protest injustice.
I think it would be naturally so.
But the crazy part, like I said, is me seeing TikToks of people like trying to say, well, where are the blacks at? Like, where are the blacks? Like, to me, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I should hope that there's more of a dialogue around it. I think that's what's forward facing. I see that more than anything on this topic, and I hate that if it's not the riots or the inciting and the bullets and all of like the vandalism, it's somebody asking where the blacks is. And I know that there has to be a whole lot more going on than that. Like, people are suffering, and I see all of those the mayors and senators, and they can't even make wave. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
They getting thrown in the paddy wagon with everybody else. Like, baby. But that's all I have for that. Make sure that you guys are running it up in the chat. We're going to take a little moment. Remember that you are more than welcome to add your voice to the conversation, and we would love to hear what you have to say.
Bamboo sticks all in the Jeep. It's a new weirdo every week. Put it up for my seeds. No trip for the IG.
Just trying to have a good time.
No trip for the IG disease. Do anything for club. Do anything for club. Do anything for club. Do anything for club.
You know you asked for this, right?
They do anything for club. Do anything for club. Watch your mouth. Watch it. Stay in your place. Get out the way. Then your ass can pay. No disrespect. We trippin', but we love, yeah. Swapping out cars from my. I bought her the Lambo, she bought me the Ray. Swapping. Practice, make breakfast.
You know you asked for this, right?
Out of the state. Out of the state. Then I get the bills about.
All right. Welcome back. Thank you guys so much. Ashley, do you know anything about Timberland and his AI artist?
No, girl, what's happening? No.
Well, Timberland, you know, Ficky. Timberland, the producer, is making headway, and he's not going to be the first or the last to kind of have this AI artist or presented. He's just the first one, especially in a producer narrative on the mainstream in a big way, to co-sign this. And this is kind of what people had to say about it.
Okay. What's going on?
Even about the money, it's about the fact that we're conditioned to not value ourselves or our music, and we're so comfortable living in this area where we're just doing what we're told.
So Timberland announced his new AI entertainment company. Boo, tomato, tomato. Then reveals Tata as first artist. It's a nah for me. This is a slap in the face with a Timberland boot by Timberland at this point. There's real people out here who sing and songwrite and rap and produce and do all the things really good, and you want to play Sims and create iRobots. I'm confused. And you know that because you be reviewing people's music on your stream and giving them feedback. So why are we creating Wallies and Karens from SpongeBob at the Chum Bucket? I'm confused. It's giving plankton. And Timberland is really a legend at what he do. So for you to be encouraging AI, knowing that it's taken away from real creativity, is crazy.
AI and music. Here are my thoughts on Timberland and his new AI company and signing his first AI artist. Now, coming from someone like Timbo, which is not only shocking, but it's also like a gut punch. There's been a bit of controversy with Timberland recently. There's now a clip of him circulating online where a producer was playing music, Timberland found it, Timberland was jamming to it, and now Timberland is using that producer's music, putting it through his AI software, and producing a new tune. But it's not a new tune. He just stole this person's record.
Wait a damn minute.
That's Tata.
What's up? Hey, respect to everybody here. Hey,
John, I respect you, bro. I respect. Hey, look, the reason I brought you here because your post is crazy. No. He didn't. We got it.
I mean it.
We got it. All right, we're gonna stand on it in the chat.
I mean everything about it, bro. I'm not double backing on it. Respect to your legacy, I would say. What I view this as right now is a betrayal to artists everywhere, bro. What you're doing is you're backdooring us. You got into a position of power, and instead of choosing to unionize and fight against this AI, which I'm not stupid. I use ChatGPT to script out screenplays, things like that. I use ChatGPT on a daily to think of content ideas, to do the menial tasks, the meaningless tasks that a robot should do. I'm a spiritual person, and I believe that artists all are tapped into a divine entity, right? When you go and you start creating and you allow some fucking robot to come in and finish your song, you're cutting yourself off from the divine. And let me not even get that deep with it. What I think you're doing is you're doing something that's, in a sense, demonic, bro. And I know it sounds...
Now he was gonna go on and on. But yeah, Timberland is feeling like this is the new wave. If you don't get with it, you are going to be left behind. Um you I'm not gonna be left behind as a producer, as a DJ, as the, coming of music. Like Timberland is so talented and prolific in the space. It means so much that he took on to partner, I think it's Sonu, this company. And not only that, but signed this AI artist, and it's A pop, not K-pop, A-pop. I'm not gonna be dealing with, any sense of a real person anymore. I'm gonna do this. And not only that, anybody who has their own beat like we have here demonstrated, yeah, I'm gonna run it through this AI situation and create something new. And I love this beat so much. And I also think it's weird, Timbaland has his YouTube where people like cash app him or super chat him, and he listens to their beats and tells them whether or not it's good, and he's using those beats as well. I don't know what the hell's going on with Timbaland. Timbaland's always been kind of odd to me. He's always been a little weird one, kind of kooky in that way. But it feels kind of, I don't know, it feels a little desperate that he would be so accepting and ready to jump on the bandwagon for a cute check and present this AI artist, these AI beats, and do away with, all the instrumentation and actual real people. And I feel like if he co-signs it, which he is, what's left, for the next person to do it who isn't a Timbaland? Ashley?
Yeah, this is predatory as hell. And it's very sad because with the advent of, GPTs and all of that we now have, there needed to be a legislation that came along with it. It's still very much the wild, wild west when it comes to generative AI, whether that's creating art, like physical media art, digital art, music, all of those things. I think this is completely unethical on his part. It makes me wonder how far disconnected you have to be to not remember the struggle that you went through to get on, or what your process looked like, or how when you were first starting and you made your first beat and you wanted to
Over
give it to
there in
somebody.
Devontae's basement.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, how can you be so far removed? And now you're going to take these people that are paying you to give them a critique, to let them know how you can improve whatever. You're going to put it into your AI beat machine, whatever, and then repurpose said beat.
Or after he told me it was trash on the live.
That is crazy as hell and so unethical. But like I said, you can get away with so much with generative AI right now. Like they even have plans that you can buy through your GPT that says this is commercially licensed for you now. Like, even though it was a creation of the GPT, of the AI, you can now use it on your commercial products. Like you can use it on your t-shirts, on your logo. You can do all of those things. And it really takes out the human component. I think this is dangerous. And I think something needs to happen before it gets out of control. But he's wrong as hell for this. This is like the rich getting richer, and he's being extremely greedy. And I do feel like what the guy was saying, although he was kind of on a tangent, he ain't wrong. This is very soulless. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You think about the first time you heard a song and it touched your heart. That was a real person doing that. Now you're going to put in your idea into GPT. They're going to start writing your song lyrics. And, is it going to convey the same meaning? Like, is it going to come from those places when people were writing their hearts out? I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's terrible. I think something needs to be done.
I don't know. I hate it, especially for his particular genre. Like you are based in these genres, and especially if you get into like something like hip hop, that is the least place where you're often going to have live instrumentation, and it'll be the easiest place to be subjective to. Oh, let me just throw a little AI on there. Let me just run this beat through this one thing, and like I really don't think it's going to do well. Like Chat GPT and AI and all those things, it's always an amalgamation of other things. So if I say make me an 80s beat, you're gonna go through different 80s beats. You're not gonna give me something per se like solely original. You're gonna pick from, okay, these are the most popular things and this is what I came up with. That versus, a new up and comers, somebody he could have given opportunity to, whether it was a beat maker or an artist, you're taking that away so you can present us with AI pop. All right. Well, else.
Kita Cat, I do think it's different because there's different things you can do within generative AI with a prompt and your creative thought. That's not what Timbaland's doing. He literally took somebody's beat, uploaded it into the system, and they made a few modifications, and now it's his beat.
Yeah.
That's completely different than his thought material going in and saying, you know, I want this to be the chord, I want this to be the regression, I want this to be the key, and all of those things. No, he literally is taking people's beats, uploading them that somebody sat there for hours probably and made and paid him to review it. He's said taking said beats, uploading it, they're making a few tweaks, and he's going on about his business. I
And
don't
then
think that
no,
I think that's
the
morally
actual
wrong.
beat that was used in this clip, because he has his little modest things from those innocent people on his live streams that are sending their beats. That beat is in connection with, you know, like SoundCloud, and you're trying to get discovered and you're uploading your beats. I think it's Sonu. He is partnering with that company for this AI situation. So Timberland is going through a lot of people's beats and just like, oh, but it's like, yeah, you're Timberland. Somebody's going to, you know, touch and mess with your beat long before whoever actually made it gets discovered. Like, why would you try to take money out of people's pocket?
But I think they're already doing it, Tyra. I think they've
Yeah,
already
they
done
are.
it.
But
They've
it's
already done
Timberland
it.
though.
I know.
It's Timberland. Like, it's a whole different thing when you do it. Oh, okay. Now you're really giving it a cosign. Thank you so much, DeMarcus, for the $2. People love taking ideas because they can't be creative. Coming from, like, you would think one of the most creative beat makers of any generation now, like you top tier, and you out here moving like this. I don't know. I really hope it sucks. I really hope it does bad, and I don't even mean to be like that. Huh. But I have some topics coming up here because I was like, you know what? We're going to go over there and tell them. I was like, no, R. Kelly does not deserve any conversation. You trying to get Trump to pardon you and let your ass out. No, no. But I had a heavier topic I wanted to talk about on the end of this. So we're going to have a little, we're going to have a little break in the middle to have a little kiki and get into some other stuff first before we get into the heavier topic on the end here. Ashley said, Lord Jesus.
Industry needs an overhaul, period.
Here we go.
After last night's show, it's an indicator that we just need a complete reset. Like what are we doing? Are we allowing this to happen over and over again and wonder why the gospel music industry is dying? Come on, man. In order to have something different, you have to do something different. So we need people in the room that know gospel music, that's in the trenches of gospel music, that's advocating for the genre as a whole and not one particular person. It's already a small genre. So it's hard for us to watch the Dr. Bobby Jones Gospel Award being given to somebody that's not in our space, right? No disrespect to the artist, but that's not the space she's in. And so it makes it discouraging, disappointing, and it takes the wind out of all of it. And we wonder why gospel music is dying.
Here's a gospel award, huh? This my first BET award, even though I've been here 3 years to get nominated 6 times, 8 times. It's a blessing to get the gospel award first because I owe it all to God.
Wait.
I owe it all to God. Ashley, do you think that it is an issue that at this most recent BET Awards, Glorilla was awarded for her gospel efforts on her, you know, debut album? I think it's debut, maybe not. Versus, you know, an OG or contemporary gospel act. Do you feel like gospel is dying?
Child, gospel been secular. Let's just be honest. Like, I don't know why. I've been in the church my entire life, Tyra. And these be the most unholiest people ever in the gospel genre. Gospel been secular. So I don't see what that lady name in real life is Gloria Hallelujah. Like, we're not about to play with Glorilla. We're not about to play on her top. Her mama had her in the church house. Granny had her in the church house 7 days a week. We're not about to play with Glorilla. And I think she does a song on every record. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a surprise to me. And I think of all people, Dietrich Haddon to have something to say with it, who was filled with as much hell as he possibly could have been, screwing, sucking, fucking doing all kinds of wild things, professing holiness. Like I get off of it. Yeah, they gotta stop. They have to stop. My thing originally, gospel was the precursor to, you know, so much music that we have, especially in the Black community. But there was a separation because gospel was supposed to be about the good news. You know what I mean? It was supposed to be X, Y, or Z. It was supposed to be set apart, right? It's not been set apart for a very, very long time. So this is cap. I think this is selective outrage. I think it's late. I think it's not even relevant, honestly, at this point, because we're not going to talk about Bobby Jones. Have y'all ever watched a Bobby Jones gospel hour or seen who Bobby Jones is? Like, quit playing with people. Quit, just stop. Stop the cap. Like, it's just so religious and so fake to me and just a facade. This whole conversation, like, sir, please be quiet.
I don't know. Like, and though, you know, the OGs tried to fight it, it's been a long time since gospel was gate kept in a way of like, oh no, like, oh, you doing what? Trinity, what? It's my God's grace. Oh, R. Kelly did the beat. Oh Lord, everybody going to jail. We don't do this. You know, ain't no Maddie Clarks rolling up telling you to, you know, cut that down. There's just been so much intertwining. You know, I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you? There's been such an intertwining of the genres to where sometimes it'd be like, this one of them. I thought we was
holy. It's not holy
I
anymore.
thought we was outside. This thing, I was like, oh, okay. But it's hard to kind of go between the two because you want to be contemporary. You want to touch that younger audience who may not really be chiming in with the gospel music. Me personally, if it was made, you know, after 2005, I probably ain't heard it. But you know, we're trying to touch the youth, so that leads you to lean more into that hip hop narrative to get your gospel out there. And then, you know, you're featuring on this, and then you're on that, and then, you know, we're not too many shakes away from being your everyday average R&B artist who just happen to, you know, I love God, give it to me, Jesus. Okay, it's girl, what? It'll be, you know, that intersection is really close now, but just the fact that it was him, I was like, boy,
I can't take him serious. I cannot. Listen, I can't do it. I can't. And you're supposed to be the delegation on holiness and gospel, sir. Please stop. Please stop.
It's like you tried it, but let's move on.
because
nominated 6 times, 8 times. It's a blessing to get the gospel award first because I owe it all to God.
Wait a fucking minute.
talk to us for a second about your relationship with country music, because I feel like we just kind of got you. You haven't, you didn't grow up here in country music, so kind of tell people, kind of introduce yourself to them, and then tell them how you arrived in Nashville. What brought you here?
Yes, I did grow up in country music. You do this all the time. I did grow up in country music. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I got a scholarship for yodeling. That's how I paid for college. My start to you, to be seen to you, has been when the Judge people themselves reached out to me to go and pay Naomi Judd tribute. That was the first tape I ever got, and that was Love Can Build a Bridge. And it's always been a thing for me. I was told I could not sing country music because I was black, but it was something I had always been doing and will continue to do. I'm born and raised in Tennessee. I didn't fly here. I grew here.
You grew here?
Yeah. I grew here in Tennessee. And I am so happy to be able to sing the songs of who I am and what it is I want to. So I'm happy that people like you are just discovering me, though. And I'm happy to be here for that. So happy that you have.
We're not just discovering you. We just haven't heard you on contemporary country radio yet, right?
Well, you don't hear a lot of women on contemporary radio, period, right now.
That's
okay?
Right.
And you really don't hear a black one.
But you're
you
about
will.
to, right?
You're about to. Yes, you will.
So tell us about the music that you're working on.
The music is absolutely amazing. I was told.
No, baby. I once the clip started and just that condescending tone from that lady, I thought shaking the table came show was gonna pop out. She handled herself very well. You know what that is? That's growth. That's growth. This was a very classy read, but we do know, even though there's been this explosion, especially on Beyonce's side with the country album, there have been, many of Black artists trying to go into country and are actively country artists and they are not able to break through. Talk about a genre of music that gatekeeps and there's like a color line. Country is thick there. But for this lady to ask Kay to be on her platform, ask some questions. Well, like, do you know me at all? You clearly know enough of me to know a little bit, but don't tell me like, you just got here, you're just coming out of nowhere. Like, don't be condescending towards me or my efforts or music. And this was just some of it. Kay went on to talk about her college years and go, I went to school for yodeling. I've been in these country streets, okay? Just because you just met me does not mean that. But Ashley, how do you feel about this conversation and why, of all the genres, because we was over there as a stepping stone for country as well, is it gate kept so hard? And should we do the same with our music?
You know what it is. Country music is our music. And that's the kind of the sad and crazy part of it all. Like, country came from blues and it came from black people. Like, all of the music in America has come from us. But we know what it is. It's a good old boys club now over there. I will say this. When K. Michelle says, lady, you do this all the time. Apparently this interviewer or radio person, whoever this lady is in Nashville, tries people on a regular basis because she said, you do this all the time. Like, no, you know where I'm from. You know I'm from Memphis. You know I didn't fly here. I grew here. Go ahead, K. Michelle. K. Michelle has been wanting to do country for so long. I'm happy she's forcing her way in. I do think that there is, like I said, a good old boys club. We've seen performances here and there for some legendary artists back in the old CMT days, Country Music Network. I don't know if y'all remember that channel. Used to play nothing but country music. And as far as the CMAs, we would see black people here and there. But as far as fully embracing blacks within country music, we just haven't seen it. It's something I feel like they co-opted, hijacked, and owned. And I feel like they think that it's theirs solely. And a lot of them don't even know the history of it is. It's going to be that way until something major. I said, if Beyonce couldn't break it through, anybody else is really going to be hard pressed to change the industry of it all, right? Because you don't just have her, you have that Jordan girl with the blonde hair who kind of favors Beyonce. Buckle Bunnies, I think is her song. You have a K. Michelle. You have some other black artists who really want to, like you said, get their foothold.
I would think that Shabuzi has had the largest country single in the world, but Tipsy is not acknowledged in that way. A country, he's not going to be nominated. He's not going to be featured. And I'm like, well, if you couldn't do it, Lil Nas tried to do it a couple years back with Old Town Road and Billy Ray Cyrus. Like, it's just real tight knit. And I just hate that we don't gatekeep our own culture or our musical spaces in that way. Because we see this, you can come over here and get your start as a hip hop artist and then go country and just leave and I think we see some of that with like a Post Malone. Like, you can do these things, but it's never, back and forth. Like, child, I hope Kay blows up with country because I've listened to some of Kay's country. I'm not like per se a country girl myself, but I've listened to it just to, I want to hear what K. Michelle's doing over there because I've been there since them can't raise a man VSOP streets. So I was like, oh, okay, Kay, I like this. But I wish her much success and, more reads because, baby, I didn't fly here. Now, getting into something a bit more light before we go into the heavy. Now, somebody decided to rank overhyped singers in TV. And I want to know who's overhyped here to you.
Your love has captured me.
Treat me this way. I want you to love me for who I am.
Springs in the air, there's magic everywhere when you're young and in love. Life seems to be come bring me your softness, comfort me through all this madness. Man, don't you know with you
Valentine, sweet comic Valentine.
And I said, how you got me agreeing with racist Dean Cain on that episode? Like, why y'all always got to do too much to the national anthem?
Oh, they always butcher it. Oh my God. They always bringing their asses in here. Are any of these people overhyped? Or were we doing the most?
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to remember everybody who was on here. Gina Waters, absolutely. Now, I'm not going to knock Tisha Campbell because she started on stage and she sings. Like Little Shop of Horrors to me is her best vocal performance. When she don't sing with Keith Washington over there. Overrated Gina. Kim was not overrated. Come bring me your sweet.
Kim
was not overrated. Kim was cooking over there. Eddie Winslow, he was singing down. That was not overhyped for me. Jaleesa Vincent, overhyped. Gina, overhyped. Kyle Barker was singing down. And I'm glad they didn't put in the Honeysuckle Rose clip because you could never deny he was singing his face off.
Somebody said, who the hell told Kyle he was Al Jarreau?
Listen, people are haters. That's all that is. Because Kyle Barker was singing his face off over there. So only Jaleesa and Gina, to me, overhyped. Did I miss anybody? 6.
Oh, Michael Evans.
When you're young and in love. Yeah, a little bit. If they saying he sang down, he didn't. But it was a fun performance. I give him credit.
Ranking for me. How y'all gonna put Kyle in number 2?
Yeah, Kyle 8 down. Hear me. And Kim gonna sing every single time. We're not gonna play on her top. Yeah.
Now, Jaleesa Vincent.
Overhyped.
She
messed it up. You got me agreeing with the
it's hard to do Gina. You got Gina standing over there with Pam. Like, Pam gonna sing down, but Gina can sing too. But chat push. I believe Gina on the list. I don't think Gina was overhyped. Now, Michael Evans was overhyped.
Play it again, Tyra. Play her part again. In this clip, to me, she's overhyped. Especially
we're talking about in general terms of the show.
About these clips. Go ahead, run the clip, Tyra.
Heard you on contemporary country radio yet, right?
Well, you don't hear a lot of women on contemporary radio, period, right now.
That's
okay.
Right.
And you.
I like Eddie singing to me.
Your love has captured me. Yeah.
Treat me this way.
Somebody said, who the hell told Eddie he was trying to do? He was trying to kill.
Springs in the air, there's magic everywhere when you're young and in love. Life seems to.
I'm not gonna play with y'all the way, baby, you could tell Jaleesa she wasn't singing that Mr. Cooper theme song with En Vogue. Couldn't tell her nothing.
Or when she and Whitley was doing their doo-wop bop bops for Patty, or not Patty, Gladys.
I can't help myself. No, they was having a good time. Good funky time. Which I'm not gonna do is put Kyle Walker at number 2. I thought that was trash.
That was.
But leaving the lighter, I'm glad we got a breath. We're gonna get into some topics oh Lord. I have been down the not so much the rabbit hole, just been in the city. There has been an uptick in the South of STDs and HIV. Oh God. And oh God, yes, get your water. And I wanted to have a conversation about it so we can see where the disconnect is and what the hell is going on. But let's watch a little bit here. We ain't gonna go back to Chicago. Oh Lord.
Just a poor ghetto girl from Cleveland.
Last week, I had several patients coming in finding out that they're HIV positive. And y'all keep making these posts and these jokes, and it's not funny. Like, this shit is ruining people's lives from their early 20s to even as old as 50 years old.
Stop playing. It's not funny. It's nothing funny about it. And you want to know what's so crazy? I seen a video of this gay dude on TikTok. He's a viral dude bragging about how he just moved to Houston and he just met somebody baby daddy, somebody trade, somebody thug drug dealer, and he let him fuck the shit out of him first night because he grown and all of that, and he sent him on about his way. Y'all think this is funny? You know how many download men it is out here playing? It's not funny. Ladies, strap up. Because these dudes is disgusting.
Everybody strap up. Now, I put this gentleman here because he is open about his diagnosis. But in his chat and in his DM, there's always a group of women just willing to buck the system because of how he looks aesthetically. And I'm just like, the ball has been dropped severely, but let's play this man here. Now, you do have a sector of people who were rather shocked because that wasn't his content, or he didn't really even just speak on it before. But now that he's out, it's a bunch of I don't give a damn what's going on. Like, yeah, I'm still trying to be that way. You don't even look like you. Like, we're really back to where you don't look like you have anything. That is terrifying. That is terrifying. And what I find like serious here is that you have they're so young and they're so careless. And it's really terrifying to me. Like, I just
right. And this is just a PSA to those that are not HIV positive.
Yes,
disclosure is my choice. When I disclose and how I disclose and who I disclose to is up to me. I find it so crazy how people are telling me that I need to disclose before I go on a date, that I need to disclose before I kiss somebody. This is the craziest one. Before I even tell them my name. It's not happening. I don't think that it's my responsibility to tell someone that I'm HIV positive if they are treating me as if I'm not. Your health is your responsibility. Adopt the mindset of medical practitioners. Assume that everyone has something until they prove to you that they do not. Why are you kissing a stranger or trying to kiss a stranger that you just met?
7,000 people have been tested positive for HIV in North Carolina. 37,000 people have been tested positive for HIV in North Carolina. Imagine the people that are not getting tested. And it's a lot of you motherfuckers that won't even go to the doctor and get tested.
I really forget I have HIV. Like this weekend outside all weekend with my friends, had a great time, and now I'm a nasally mess. Never fails. Every time I go outside the whole weekend, I end up sick with something. And it sucks because I'm literally 23 years old. Like, I want to go to the club with my friends, I want to have fun.
Data from Harris County Health shows cases of HIV and other sexually transmitted infections are on the rise in our area and rising faster than anywhere else in Texas. Tonight, Matt Doherty looks at which parts of the city are seeing the highest rates of new cases. He joins us live tonight in West Houston. Matt?
Yeah, the study shows the rates of new cases are rising across the board, even among some diseases you may have thought were long gone.
HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, all of those.
I need to know what the hell's going on. We're going backwards for some reason. And I know that there's always going to be a sector of people who are, I'm not getting tested. There's always going to be a sector of people who are willingly trying to pass these things around because I got it, you should get it. You know, people are just careless in that way. But it seems to be more rampant than ever. And with this new upchuck of just STDs in general, along with HIV, it is crazy. It is crazy. I went down what you call the rabbit hole, and I'm telling you, every single person I saw was between the ages of 17 and 23. I was like, oh my gosh. And they are expressing their stories and how they got it. And it seems like, and it's also kind of even beyond careless. It's just treated as normal now because I feel like it's more access and remedies and treatment now that people don't take it as serious. And it's just like, well, okay, I'm just going to get on PrEP, or I'm going to do whatever medically I can do to kind of keep it at bay. But like it's like common. And I'm like, are we so far removed to just not care anymore because there have been so many advances that we feel like we can just be as careless as we were, we trying to go back to the 80s? Or I don't think that prep or any other medications, or if it's dormant or whatever, you can get it to that process and be your healthiest self, means that we don't have to disclose our status, means that we can just be cavalier if we do get it. This is insane to me. And it just seems like, and those are the people, we always know if that's the number, then you times that by 20, and those are the people that didn't even bother to go get tested. Ashley, what the hell going on?
I knew something was super problematic during the vid. And you remember when there was the whole thing about like the monkeypox coming out?
Yeah.
And like even on the news, they weren't telling people to abstain or not have sex. They were just like, if you're going to do this, go immediately to the doctor. I knew there was a problem then. I was like, if people can't control themselves and just not have sex for any, God forbid you close your pocketbook for just a few minutes while we figure out what's going on here. I knew that like for whatever reason, a lot of people lack self-control, or they're just under the delusion that this isn't serious anymore. Like, oh, there's medication for that. Because you do hear people now that, their viral load is low, they're undetectable, they're living their life fully. It's not a death sentence like it was before in the 80s. And so they're just taking it just way less seriously. I also think that like the pervasive like hookup culture is just it's truly pervasive. I think that even older people now are dipping out, and I think that's why they were saying up to the age of 50, because they're dipping and tipping too. I just think it's incumbent upon everyone to get tested regularly, and maybe abstain. It's not wrong to not have sex until you find a person you guys can both get tested. At least, like Rico always says, check their my chart. Like, here, let me pull it up. Here's mine. Here's yours. When was your last test? How about we go together? I have a doctor. Let's go to my doctor. She can test us both, and we can just have that peace of mind and a surety. And then on the other side of that, you do have people that are married. But again, there's no guarantee. And before I would say go run and get on PrEP, which is, like basically a prophylactic for HIV. If you're on PrEP, it's just much harder and virtually prevents it. However, there's a lot of side effects to that as well. So, I mean, if you can, I don't see what the harm is in getting to know someone and getting tested. Like,
That just sounds so innocent. Just get to know. Take your time, darling.
Take your time. I mean, because you can't even know someone and they can still be whatever, but you can be on a regimen and you can have those things. I wouldn't rush to take any sort of medication. PrEP has a lot of side effects from what I've been reading and hearing online. But I think you talk to your primary care, you get involved in your own health, and make sure that your sexual health, that's half the battle. If you can make sure you're good before you're out there, use protection every single time. Like, there's things that people can do, or like I said, God forbid, abstain for a little while. Just close down shop. I promise you, it'll help you think clearly. I promise you, it can help you think clearly. And if you're married or in relationship, I think you should still be on a regular testing schedule. And I think your partner or husband or wife should be as well.
Yeah,
I think that's just being
the OG
realistic.
stats still stand to where I've been married X, Y, and Z, and I've never been with anybody but my husband or my wife, and then we come up with whatever. So that still is a thing. It makes me fear for the generation underneath. If it's just kind of crumbling now, what about the next one to have the desire to go and
Baby,
get
my friend is
tested?
a nurse in the insurance world, and she says you would not believe how many STI claims she has to go through for her senior citizens. These are people who are on Medicare. That means they're over 65, Tyra. In
Damn.
these nursing homes, I'm not playing burning. Do you hear me? The super syph, the super gonorrhea is a real thing out here. I'm just saying, wrap it up, get tested. I get tested and I haven't even had sex in like 2 years, y'all. I still get tested at my well woman visit every single year. just to be on the same. Run it all, ma'am. Run it, run it, run it all. Run
And I've been
everything.
with the same person for a decade now. Still going to get tested. Still go. Not to, and I think people think like, well, I trust my man. I trust my person. I
I
trust
don't
my
trust
woman.
nobody
They would
like
never.
that.
It ain't about the trust. It's about your health, and you still, what does it hurt? Your legs already open when you got to go in this office. So go ahead and check in. But everybody be agile about going to get tested for everything. And I was also seeing that a lot of places now, I don't know if that's because of the new regimen and trying to cut down on things, they have to be very vocal about, yeah, make sure you give me the HIV test. They're not even testing for it anymore.
Oh,
Because
girl,
I
my
had to
doctor
keep.
was like, here, take everything. Here's everything. She said, you want hepatitis C? She said, HIV, SIF, gonorrhea, everything. Test it all.
I
But
see
I
video
guess
on
it's
the that she
different.
had to ask several times, like, did you do that? She's like, well, okay, well, yeah, because I thought you just meant, the general STD checks. Like, no, that and of course HIV. Give me everything, please.
Crazy.
Like, yeah, you got to be your own advocate, or they apparently trying to skip over that. Let's cut some costs wherever we can.
And
Weird.
if you have
Weird.
insurance, y'all, this is part of your preventive care and it should be covered at 100%. Your STI testing is a part of family planning and it should be covered at 100%. You should not have to pay for this if you have insurance. It should be free. They can run the test. Make them do it.
And then if it's scary and you're one of those people who, they are at rapid HIV home testing kits, you can opt for that. And then like, okay, at least I don't know I got the big one. Let me go and take my ass on down to the care. Okay. But please, y'all, just please, this place, sir, place.
Like
Go
Tyra said, have somebody go with you if you're scared, or like you said, you can do it out of the comfort of your own home. I think you can just mail it. They give you a number,
Yeah.
and you can check,
They do.
what it
They
is.
do. They do. If you don't want to, get that, or you want to have, because if you're that in fear, you want to do it in the privacy of your own home, you can do that. But just don't, not do anything.
And another thing, menfolk, because I've been seeing this online, and I know this to be true in real life. I have 4 brothers in real life. Do not wait until your partner is burning before you go to the doctor. Go. That is not she is not your STI test, okay? You having sex and her having a baby or whatever and she get into that doesn't equate to your health.
Hold on, what
Men,
happened?
child, they use women as their STI chick. They're like, oh well, the last chick I was with, she wasn't burning, she wasn't sick, she didn't get nothing,
Oh,
so I must be good.
oh. No, some things lie dormant. Sometimes you can have things and you won't transfer it by sex to the other person. You
Yes.
can't even, sexually transmit it to your children. It's just a roll of the dice. Everybody is different. Go on
So
down
men
there and see about your mans.
go. And you can even I mean, there's places you can do stuff anonymously, but sir, go yourself. Don't wait for her. You go
Oh, baby. Well,
and wrap it up.
now getting into some light work. I just wanted to talk about that because I was like, what y'all trying to do? What is going on? Don't do that. I'm a mother. Getting into some light work, I wanted to focus on, because tomorrow's Father's Day. Tomorrow is Father's Day, and I just wanted to take this first segment to kind of focus on some manses and this empowering cut situation. I think so often now there seems to be a lack of kindness going around. And when I happen to see some, I get a little excited. And just to see the smile, it's nice for these men, even in their conditions, whatever they may be, to just be reminded that they are men, and to lift their spirits. I thought that this was really nice what Empowering Cuts is doing. Please go and subscribe and follow them, and it's always great. They take all kinds of funding to continue doing this within the community. But I thought this was nice. Ashley, how do you feel about this?
Sweet. I love it. And we all know like a good haircut on a man can change their whole self-esteem for the day. Like, oh, I'm fresh now. And it can change their whole countenance. You know what I mean? So I love this. It's something. It's not huge, but it is something I think that makes a huge impact on their lives. So this is beautiful to see. I love it. I love seeing the videos when you see the barber go and you see somebody's having a bad day, they struggling. Like, yeah, let me cut your. Can I cut your hair? Is it cool? So I love this. I think it boosts their self-esteem. And people look like new men, honey, when they get that beard trimmed up and get a nice line. They look good.
it's just, I don't know. It's like, you know how your days like, do people even like other people anymore? Is there kindness in the world still? And then you see situations like this, and it's like, you know what? You better dance, sir. You better dance. I thought that this was so nice, and I just wanted to acknowledge that, and just acknowledge what a haircut can do for a man. Because they look like whole new people coming up out of here. All the smiles and the happiness coming across the face. But moving on to here. Ashley, if and when you decide to go on down the aisle, are tears required? Look at these. If it ain't real if you ain't crying. Does the man have to cry, Ashley, when you come down the aisle in your dress?
Hell yeah. Baby, I'm gonna look so good. You better cry. You ain't do nothing else but cry. You better look down and cry. It better be a good boo-hoo too, like him. Like he had to, you see, let me shake it off. Baby, you look so good. Let me shake it off. You better, because I don't feel like it's real if you don't shed a little tear. Now, I don't want you to be up there all the time. We done talked about that. I don't like no man who cries all the time.
Ma'am, you always putting a budget on the cry.
Listen, but on that good day, when you see me, you best to shed a tear, because I'm gonna be that fine. And you got to be thinking about all the favor that's about to enter your life, the joy. You know what I'm saying? The how your world is about to change immensely because you're in my presence, because you're about to be one with the queen. You better shed a tear. You better understand the fullness of what you're about to get. I could preach it. You know what I'm saying? You better. It's
I want us to both cry with an F. I want both of us to cry. Like, I see so many weddings, and it's like so stoic. Like, I'm like, you ain't trying to break down in this moment. Like, a part of me feel like it ain't real if you ain't crying. You know what I mean? That's probably not fair.
It is fair. It's very fair. I like to
fair, but I just feel like we need to be up here, like, because that means we made it. We made it, and we care about each other enough to even make it to this point. And this is such a commitment. Like, this is such a milestone, especially to me, for anybody who really takes the boundaries of marriage and the sanctity of it seriously. That's such a big thing. And if it's like you don't want to cry, you don't want to cry. I just think that we should cry. I'm just saying. But I just want to know if it was just me, You'd
be surprised. Tip reads I've seen a lot of men not cry at their wedding. I've seen a lot of dry weddings.
Stand there real like, yeah. Who would it have been if it wasn't me? What? Yeah, she got the one. She tamed the beast. Yeah.
Y'all saw that one where that man called her ugly on her wedding day and like acted like he was the prize. Yeah, that man on TikTok. He was like, but I'm the one who looked good. It's a blessing she got to marry me today. And he spent all the time with his groomsmen. Girl, that was on TikTok. That was a real thing. These fools try it.
BS.
That's how we're giggling. Kwana, why ain't y'all cry? We said we were giggling, but my daddy cried.
We were giggling, but my daddy cried. Like, if you're doing some emotion together, but I do like look at these brothers, like, man, oh my God, like, oh, this is good. But I also wanted to acknowledge this social club here for daddies. I thought that this was so cute, coming up on Father's Day, and just in general, what these men are trying to do for each other. Now here it says propaganda. We're not falling for it. Boys will be boys, married mom single, the 6 weeks postpartum rule, toxic masculinity. My parents did it. So my parents did it and I turned out fine. Gender roles rest in laziness. Now we have this daddy strollers social club where it is Ashley, it is expanding, and it's not attached per se to a stroller. You can have a baby of any age, but they do have these stroller walks. But we have this organization, and they're broadening their span to collectively have dads mingling with other dads all about their kids. And they share information as far as, what they're doing, what activities are going on. Sometimes they all go out together, and they're trying to have different chapters in different cities. And I think that this is the most adorable thing ever. Like, look at them. Look at them meeting. Oh, God. But let's hear from the man.
I have been keeping a secret. And no, we are not pregnant. I've been on this fatherhood journey for a while now. And one thing I have learned is that we are not supposed to be doing this alone. And that's why I am happy to say that I will be leading the Atlanta chapter of the Daddy Stroller Social Club. They are now expanding to 12 new cities all across America. On July 12th, we are launching right here, and we want you to be there. This is not just a stroll. This is a brotherhood. It's a space to connect, for dads to have real talk and to be present with our kids. We're not supposed to be doing it.
What do you think about the Daddy Stroller Social Club? Ashley, can you hear me?
What'd you say?
What do you think about the Daddy Stroller Social Club?
Oh, I just heard Daddy Stroller Social Club. The first part got put off. I thought you were about to say something else. This is adorable. This is cute. Like, I love it. I think black men, I won't even just say black men, but all men, especially fathers who may be new at it. Like, I believe in community, and I believe in like a group of counsel. You know what I mean? Like, so I love that. I love that they can have each other to bounce ideas off of if they have questions about fatherhood and all of that. I think this is awesome because you hear about Mommies and Me, you hear about, you know, those kind of groups, but we seldom ever hear about fathers and especially black fathers. This is beautiful. I would rather them out here doing this than anything else. I think this is gorgeous, and the babies are benefiting from it. And I think we as a community, me and one of my play sisters got into like this debate kind of about this, about black fathers being present in the home as opposed to single parents. Well, I grew up around a lot of friends who were in single parent families. They were raised by their mom. She grew up where dads were everywhere. I think this is great just to see, just for representation, to know that there are a ton of active black men who are fathers and husbands. I love it. I think it's great. I hope they get to all 50 states eventually.
Yeah, I just think, you know, in the wake of Father's Day, myself being someone who didn't have like a fatherly presence as well, I think they're like necessary, like they're so kind of devalued in the narrative in so many ways, especially like in like a media sense, especially black dads. It's like, yo, we don't need that. Like you see, and kudos to any, you know, single moms, but we see that more than anything. My king, my one, the man in my, and it's like, you know, I'm a single mom. Like, I rather see more of this than that, because one really outweighs the other, and you never know who's watching and who could see something like this and know that, you know, I too can be a good father, even if I'm, you know, currently not the best one. Maybe it's time to change. And a lot of these men get together. I think the guy who actually started the first chapter, it was like, okay, mommy's day out. I'm going to take the kids in the stroller. You have the day to yourself. And it was like, they were friends with another couple. It was like, well, okay, well, let them, okay. And then just kind of balloon from there. And now we have all these daddies in these different chapters happening. But I do want any father out there to know that you guys are necessary. If ain't nobody told you today, and I'm saying that as somebody, child, if I saw this man in the street, I wouldn't know a thing. Kick your paw. I wouldn't know a thing. I wouldn't, what the hell, I don't know I don't know, but I do know the value in it, and see the value in it, even if it's something that I didn't receive. And I want every single man, if you are soon to be father, already a father, maybe don't even want to be a father just yet, just know that you are valued and needed in the space. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. We love to see it.
Yeah, we got 2 more things to cover up here, and then we're going to get ready to get out of here, y'all. If there's anything else that you guys want to inquire about or say, please do so now. Because we about to, I think Ashley about to turn up on this next one. I'm not sure.
Atlanta chapter of the Daddy Stroller Social Club. They are now expanding to 12 new cities all across America. On July 12th, we are launching right here, and we want you to be there. This is not just a stroll. This is a brotherhood. It's a space to connect, for dads to have real talk and to be present with our kids.
Meet and greet. It's our first time meeting. Let them give y'all a little look. This man say, I shouldn't be dating because I don't have an address. Because I live in a motel. I shouldn't be dating. So I want to make sure that all y'all can see. Y'all need to know this man. Y'all need to know, because he's playing games. He's judging me.
I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, just a meet and greet. You didn't say that in your profile. You didn't say, you didn't say it though.
But why would I put that in my profile?
Why would you You need to let people know that you're staying in a motel and you're homeless right now.
Okay, but
you want to sit up here and try dating, and you out here, and then number one, how old are you and you recording? You like recording me at your age.
I'm recording y'all because I want y'all to know this is a taker right here. Apparently he trying to take
a take.
Why
you
does it matter?
And you
why
dating.
Does that matter? You got a place to stay, right?
You're dating.
You have
you're
a place
how
to
old
stay,
and
right?
you're home. I'm trying to say nothing, but you're dating. And
I'm 53 years old.
Yeah, but if you're homeless and dating, you need to probably work on yourself before you start dating.
I got a good job. I make almost 6 figures.
Ashley, should you be deprived of dating if you're homeless? And do you have to disclose that you're homeless if you're dating?
How the hell my good sis gonna get out the hotel if she don't date, Tyra? Like, why are you worried about it? You supposed to be the provider, the protector, the homemade. You supposed to got it, boo. Like she said, don't you got a house for me? You got a house to put me in?
No, absolutely not.
I'm being so facetious right now. Okay. Listen, auntie. You should have never told him. You should have just let him. You should have just got to that point. No, you know what? It's very interesting because then this is kind of a time where you would think of traditional gender roles. Do those come into play, right? Is her being a certain age making her go into the dating world with a different feeling, right? Like every man that I meet is going to potentially be this provider, protector. He doesn't need to worry about where I live. He doesn't need to worry about my finances. So I will say this. I don't think anyone that's unhoused should be worried about a relationship at the moment. However, if she was one of those traveling van life people, then that's her choice. Like she still makes money, she's still whatever, but it's her choice as far as her accommodation. I don't know sis's or auntie's situation, but I mean, King not wrong in this moment. I think just like we would say to a man, you're homeless, sir. You unhoused, excuse me. You have no damn business out here trying to date anybody because you can't take care of yourself. I would actually love to hear more of this because I want to know why she's living in the hotel. Is this by choice? Was she put out? What were the circumstances
Were there damages
around
to
this?
your home? Is this, something?
Yeah. Like, why are we doing this? Was your house damaged? Is this like an insurance? You're waiting for it to be rebuilt? Like, what is really the situation? I think if he really liked her, I'm not sure if this would be like, okay, so here's the thing. Can I just tell the truth, shame the devil?
Go ahead.
Like, back in some of my younger years, I date, you know what I mean? You date. I've never once met a man that asked me how much I had in my bank account or, what are your finances?
You live
like?
the Trump life, darling. We know that.
But I know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't understand at this big age, I would be questioning a person who was unhoused and decides to reveal that on the first date without any other information. I'd be questionable too, because I would think your priorities too were in the wrong place, because I would think you would want stable shelter. Auntie got audacity, and I kind of like it in her, Tyra. That's why I'm going back and forth, because I kind of like if he's a real man, does he really care? Baby, because I'll move you out the projects. Like, I'll move you out that hotel. You can come stay with me, baby, if I like you.
I'm not, Ashley, because I'm not going to play with y'all in the double standard. Because if he sat there and told her the same thing, it would be a problem. What else would take care of you? Ain't you too old to not have your shit together? I'm not taking care of a grown ass man. You don't have no place to stay. Like, no, I'm not giving that lady that. If we ain't gonna give a man that. I'm just not. Ma'am, get your affairs in order. Before we start
dating, Auntie, do better. Do better. I think Kitty Cat. I think if your approach would have been softer and like, baby, I'm just in between. I think it's about how you talk to him. I do. I'm convinced. I'm convinced it's how you talk to him.
Okay. Next topic.
Because baby, you should want to save my life. You should want to make it better.
I've been sitting in this car for about 2 hours now because I refuse to go inside and be with my wife. Like, I hate her that much.
How you look.
The only reason why I'm with her is because I'm broke and I don't have nowhere else to go. Like, I can't afford to rent on my own, and she makes more money than me. So I mean, if I was to get a good job tomorrow, I'd be gone just like that. With a woman I really want. But I can't afford the woman I want, so I gotta settle for her. Literally. If we're being honest, I think I'm doing her a favor. Because she got low self-esteem anyway, and she bad built, so
This satire.
she should be lucky that I'm with her, if that makes
Is it?
Yeah, this got to be rage bait.
No,
It gotta
I
be.
thought it was. I've seen this so many times in the past week. I've seen this so many times, and people were saying the same thing. And somebody's going around in the comments like, "No, I work with this brother. This is him. He hates her." And they were naming the wife or whoever, girlfriend by name. I just want to say, did we not learn anything from Mr. Loverman? Stop being with people who hate you, because this type of hatred does not stop in the driveway in the car. Okay, I'm with this man. He don't like me. He don't love me. Like, acknowledge when someone hates you and move around, husband or not. Like, how content? Like, this is dangerous. This is dangerous for you to have this much pent up hatred for me. Like, this is sick. I don't, Ashley.
So here's the thing. I need him to worry about getting them upper teeth because it looks like he's missing them, all of them. I didn't see a gum or a tooth up there, and it's very disconcerting. Look at how he holds his mouth, Tyra. That's our first thing. I would actually love to meet and talk to the wife and have a conversation with her because, baby, how did we get here? That's what I want to know. How did we ever get here with him looking how he's looking, got the audacity to hate somebody? And she's paying all of your bills and giving you food and sustenance. I think that the wife from here needs to be with the auntie from the first video, Tyra. I am very much disgusted by this because how dare you, sir? You getting a free ride in a fancy car, and you have nothing but complaints. Hate her in silence if you're going to hate her. You don't have a way to make like, you shouldn't open your mouth to say anything. Talk about she ugly and she bad built, sir. Politely.
Ugly, bad built. I'm doing her a favor. I get a job today or tomorrow. I'm gonna go get the woman I want. But let me let him
go
finish.
Crawl in the cave you came from, because this is god awful. I'll be doggone.
No, and people were like, does she have any real friends? Because anybody who sees you doing or saying this, does nobody want to tell her where her family at? Give us the lady's name so we can let her know she's worth more than this. This was sad.
to get a good job tomorrow, I'd be gone just like that.
Clearly, you'll never get
with a woman I really want. But I can't afford the woman I want, so I gotta settle for her.
Who do you think you are?
Literally.
Cookie?
If we're being honest, I think I'm doing her a favor because she got low self-esteem anyway, and she bad built, so
you hear it?
she should be lucky that I'm with her, if that makes sense. So I don't feel guilty about it, but I mean, some gotta give because I can't keep doing this. Like, I could be with somebody I really want, but I refuse to do more. I'm kind of comfortable with being nothing.
What?
I manage my direct supervisor.
Somebody I really want. Somebody I really want. I could be with somebody I really want. Who you want to be with, sir?
Who you want to be with, sir? Where they at?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord. Who you want to be with, sir? I could be with somebody I really. Who, sir?
Jesus, help me, Holy Ghost.
But I mean, some gotta give because I can't keep doing this. Like, I could be with somebody I really want, but I refuse to do more. I'm kind of comfortable with being nothing.
My manager, my direct supervisor is going to be a minority, babe. Keep that DEI hire and keep that job offer too. I prefer to work under white men, okay? White, middle-aged, men with a family, AARP eligible, the ones that got the AAA, the ones that eat off the IHOP 55 plus menu, you know what I mean? The Medicare eligible ones, give me that. Give me that. Because as far as I'm concerned, the minorities, they like to make you pay back the dues that they had to pay in 1987 when they first got their job as the model minority. And they want to make sure that you have to do it too. Meanwhile, white man, he sees me, he goes, yep, let me give you this special project. What do you need? What's going to advance your career? How can I help you? None of the passive aggressiveness, none of the micromanaging, none of that extra shit, right? Give me Jim, Bob, Bill, give me that. Don't give me the minority, because as far as I'm concerned, anybody that looks like me or identifies as somebody who would be a DEI hire, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. Y'all got a chip on y'all shoulder that I personally do not have the brain power to deal with. So as far as I'm concerned, hand me to the nearest white man. Thank you.
Ashley?
How is you cool? Like, to me, this gives very much self-hate. Like, and who are you to make the assumption that every black in management, upper management, or executive level were DEI hires? Like, that is insanity, first and foremost. Secondly, people are not monoliths, like, at all. Some of my best managers, directors, VPs have been black women, black men, Asian women, Asian men, white women. Like, this is insanity to me. To me, it seems like she drank the Kool-Aid, because I've worked in corporate for the last 15 years. And my worst manager was a white male, a white boomer, as a matter of fact, was my worst, most micromanaging, disrespectful son of a gun that we eventually got into it. But no, I think she's out of touch, and I think she's off base. Like I said, leading into that was saying, I don't want a DEI hire as a manager, making the assumption that these black people are not in upper management or executives because of a quota. Like, this is sickening to me. And I saw this when it came out, and the amount of likes that she had on this post from other black women was sickening to me.
Everybody
It's gross.
agreed. A lot of people were in agreement. Now, I'm never going to say that there could be some. I've seen some managers like, oh, Lord, baby, it's not, that decade anymore. This, intensity that you have behind your job, it's not, all that necessary. But it's wrong to have, maybe she had, that one experience that you want to equate it to all black people. She's saying DEI. I'm like, DEI is everyone, right? But she's equating it to just solely black people. So if you were DEI, I don't want, let's not do that. We don't need the wrong person to see this. I'm like, oh yeah, see, well, if she said it about her own, I know it's got to be true. Ma'am, keep that experience. I don't even know with how passionate she was. I'm like, did you even have any experience to speak up, or is this just your personal infliction on your race? Like, I don't want none to do that. I don't want none of that. Like, okay, yeah, whatever that experience may have been, if you've had one, that was that experience. But don't equate that to all black people or DEI hires. That's weird.
Yeah,
that is weird.
Odd. And it's sickening to me, coming from and she looks East African to me. I'm very disappointed in that take. I really am, because it feels like you know nothing, Jon Snow. Like, I feel like you've learned nothing over the years. And I'm noticing now, like, there is literally a branch of creators that like specialize in rage bait and getting people on the edge and just sparking dialogue and conversation, because it drives their numbers up, it drives up engagement, and it does something for their platform. But to me, it's sickening. I don't even like that you put that out there, especially now that we know a lot of companies are even getting rid of their diversity and inclusion programs. Like,
I'm sure this could be baiting us out. Like, oh, that's the topic at hand. Let me talk about how I'm anti all DEI hires, especially the black ones. Ma'am, please. But y'all, that's our show. That is our show. We conquered. Okay.
We covered.
Ashley, anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
If you guys are a member of the Sweet Peas or the Struggle, do not forget, in just about 15 minutes, we will be live watching His Girl Friday, my choice for Blockbuster Movie Night. And then tomorrow we are celebrating all of the fathers with a Father's Day movie marathon. Please make sure you're there. Please come through and support and show some love to all the daddies in our community.
Ooh, oh, that sounds like zaddies.
All the daddies.
But y'all heard what Ashley said. Be sure to join us. Thank you to everybody who kept it live in the chat. We got up to 100 people tonight. We appreciate you guys for being here. And thank you so much for the super chats and the engagement, and just really, hopefully you guys enjoyed the conversation. Please drop down below and give your commentary, especially if you're rolling up on this on the replay. We would love to know your thoughts, because we didn't get them in the chat. But as Ashley stated, we will be back tomorrow celebrating the fathers with a good old marathon. Please join us in the afternoon. The links and all of the channel, all that stuff should be up on the channel already for you to click it. And we look forward to seeing you there. If you're a member, we'll see you in a minute. Everybody else, have a good night.
Good night.
Who's the man? You're the man. Strong, healthy, black man. Huh? Dun dun dun, bum up, dun dun. Time to celebrate.